The stars shimmered cold and distant as the human ship descended through the clouds of the forgotten planet. Its engines roared softly, cutting through the silence of a world that had been abandoned for centuries. From space, the planet looked gray and lifeless, its surface scarred by cracks, dried rivers, and broken mountains. No lights shone, no cities glowed, no voices sang, only endless silence. The crew of 5 explorers looked out through the glass, uneasy but curious. They were searching for ruins, for knowledge, for answers. But what they would find was far beyond their imagination. As the ship landed, dust rose like ghosts, swirling in the air. The ground beneath them was covered in black stone and strange patterns carved deep into the rock, symbols of an ancient civilization long gone. The humans stepped out, their boots crunching against the silent ground. The air was thin but breathable, sharp with the smell of decay. Captain Lyra, the leader, raised her hand and said quietly, "Stay sharp." Her eyes scanned the horizon, where towers of broken metal reached up like skeletal fingers. They walked deeper into the ruins, their lights cutting through shadows. Web-like strands glimmered faintly along the walls, stretched between pillars of stone. At first, they thought it was dust or crystal, but as they looked closer, their hearts tightened. The strands were too perfect, too deliberate. "Spider webs," whispered one of the crew, his voice trembling. But no spider could make this, not this big. The deeper they walked, the thicker the webs became. Their boots snagged on strands that were as strong as steel cables. The ruins grew darker, the silence heavier, until finally, the sound came. A faint clicking, like claws on stone, echoing through the ancient hall. The crew froze, their lights sweeping across the walls, and then they saw it. From the shadows emerged a shape both terrifying and majestic, a spider larger than any machine, its body shining with metallic armor, its many eyes glowing like dying stars. Its legs moved with terrifying grace, each step silent but powerful. The crew raised their weapons instinctively, hearts pounding, but the creature did not attack. It stopped, its massive form looming over them, its many eyes locked onto the humans, studying them. It tilted its head slightly, almost with curiosity. For a long moment, silence ruled. Only the sound of human breathing filled the air. Finally, the spider spoke. Not with a mouth, but with a deep voice that echoed inside their minds. "You are not of this world," it said slowly. The humans gasped, some stepping back in fear. Lyra clenched her jaw and answered, "We come from Earth." The spider's eyes glimmered brighter, its body shifting slightly. "Earth," it repeated, as if tasting the word. "Another death world." The crew exchanged glances. "How do you know that?" one asked, his voice shaking. The spider leaned closer, its eyes burning like fire in the shadows. "Because I watched my world die," it said. "And now I watch the void come for you." The crew shivered at the words. "What void?" Lyra asked carefully. The spider's legs clicked softly against the stone, echoing like drums. It turned its head toward the sky, toward the black emptiness beyond the ruins. "The void is hunger," it said. "The endless dark that eats stars, that swallows worlds, that leaves nothing but silence. I am the last of my kind, the last guardian of this planet. And soon, even I will be gone." The explorers felt the weight of the words settle over them like chains. One whispered, "You mean this planet was alive once?" The spider turned, its eyes reflecting sorrow and rage together. "My people built cities that touched the clouds. We shaped mountains into palaces. We ruled the stars with wisdom and strength. But the void came, and nothing we had mattered." The humans looked around at the broken ruins, suddenly understanding. This was not just a dead world. It was a warning. Lyra stepped forward, her voice steady but filled with curiosity. "Why are you still here?" she asked. The spider lowered its great body until its eyes were level with hers. "Because someone must remember," it said softly. "And because I have one last duty, one last chance to stop the void before it spreads further." The crew leaned closer, listening carefully. "What duty?" Lyra asked. The spider shifted, its enormous legs scraping against the stone. "Beneath this planet lies a weapon, ancient and forgotten, forged by my people before the end. But it cannot be awakened by me alone." Its eyes glowed brighter as it looked at the humans. "It requires life, courage, and will, qualities my kind no longer have." The crew went silent, realizing what it meant. It needed them. At first, fear filled their hearts. The idea of working with a creature so massive, so alien felt impossible, one whispered. "How do we trust it?" The spider's voice rang in their minds again. "Trust is a choice, but the void does not wait. If you walk away, it will find you, and then your worlds will fall as mine did." The humans looked at each other, torn between fear and duty. They could leave now, escape into the stars, pretend none of this ever happened. But deep down, they knew the spider was right. The void was coming. And if they ignored it, humanity would one day share the same fate. Finally, Lyra stepped forward, again her hand lowering her weapon. "We will help you," she said firmly. The spider's eyes softened, a strange light flickering inside them. "Then you may yet survive," it whispered. As the crew followed the spider deeper into the ruins, the webs around them seemed to glow faintly. Ancient machines buried beneath. Stone began to hum. The air grew warmer, as if the planet itself was waking up from its endless sleep. But shadows moved too, shapes twisting in the darkness. The void was not far, and time was running out. The tunnels beneath the ruined city stretched deep into the planet's heart. The spider moved ahead, its massive legs scraping against the stone, its glowing eyes lighting the path. Behind it, the human crew followed carefully, their footsteps echoing in the silence. The deeper they went, the more the air grew heavy, as if the very planet was holding its breath. Strange machines lined the walls, half buried in dust and webs. Some were taller than towers, their surfaces cracked but still humming with faint energy. Others were shattered, melted as if by fire. From the stars, the humans touched the cold metal, realizing how ancient this place was. "This is older than our history," one whispered, his voice shaking. The spider's deep voice filled their minds again. "My people built this to fight the void, but it was never finished." Captain Lyra kept her weapon ready, her eyes sharp. She had led many missions, but never one like this. Her instincts screamed danger, yet her heart told her this was important. If the void was real, if it truly devoured worlds, then humanity needed answers. She turned to the spider. "How close is the void now?" The creature's many eyes blinked slowly, sorrow burning in them. "Closer than you think," it said. Already the outer stars are fading as they entered the central chamber. The humans froze. Before them stood a machine like nothing they had ever seen. It was shaped like a giant heart, its surface covered in glowing veins of silver and red. Cables and roots spread from it like rivers, reaching through the planet itself. The spider lowered its body, bowing its great head. "This is the core," it whispered, "the last hope of my people." The core pulsed faintly, beating like a weak heart. It was alive, but barely. The humans could feel its energy in their bones, a rhythm older than stars. "How does it work?" Lyra asked. The spider turned its eyes on her. "It requires a bond," it said. The core feeds on courage, on the will to fight when all hope is gone. The crew looked at each other, their faces pale. "You mean it feeds on us?" One said. The spider's silence was the answer. Before they could speak further, the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. The walls trembled. The humans stumbled as a roar echoed through the tunnels, a sound not of life, but of emptiness. The void had arrived. From the cracks in the stone seeped black smoke, twisting and writhing. The smoke grew into shapes, monstrous shadows with glowing red eyes and clawed limbs. They were not alive, but they hungered. The void's children had come. The humans raised their weapons, firing blasts of light into the dark. The creatures screamed as energy tore through them. But more kept coming. The spider leapt forward, massive webs shooting from its body. The webs shone like silver fire, catching the shadow creatures and tearing them apart. But still they came. Endless. Endless. "We cannot fight forever." The spider roared, its voice shaking their minds. "You must awaken the core." The humans rushed to the machine, their hands pressing against its surface. It was cold, lifeless, until suddenly it pulsed. The core recognized them, their hearts pounding, their fear clashing with courage. It fed on that courage, pulling strength from their will to live. The glow spread brighter, filling the chamber. With light, the void creature screeched, shrinking back from the power. But the spider staggered, its legs trembling. "It is not enough," it whispered. "I must give the rest." Before the humans could stop it, the spider sank its fangs into the core. Its glowing blood flowed into the machine, merging with it. The core pulsed violently, shaking the entire planet. The spider cried out, its voice echoing in the humans' minds. "My people failed, but you must survive." Its massive body began to wither, its strength flowing into the core. The humans screamed for it to stop, but it only looked at them with burning eyes. "Remember us," it said, "and fight the void." The core blazed. Like a newborn sun, light exploded through the tunnels, tearing apart the void creatures. The black smoke shrieked and vanished, consumed by the energy. The planet itself shook, cracks spreading across the surface as the core's power awakened. Fully, the humans fell to their knees, shielding their eyes from the blinding light. And then, silence. When the shaking stopped, the chamber was different. The core glowed steadily now, alive and strong, but the spider's body lay motionless, its great eyes dim. The humans stood in sorrow, hearts heavy. It had given its life, to save them, to save more than them. Lyra stepped forward, placing her hand gently on the creature's shell. "We will not forget," she whispered. As they returned to their ship, the surface of the planet glowed faintly. The core's energy spread across the ruins, awakening lights that had not burned in 1,000 years. The planet was no longer silent. It lived again. Even if its last guardian had fallen, the humans lifted off into the stars, the world shrinking behind them. They looked back with tears in their eyes. That planet was no longer forgotten. It had given them a weapon and a lesson. The void was real, but it could be fought, not with fear, not with despair, but with courage and sacrifice. In the quiet of the ship, Lyra spoke softly. "We carry its memory now," she said. "And we carry its fight." The others nodded, their faces lit by the glow of distant stars. They knew the void was still out there, waiting, hungering. But they also knew they were no longer helpless. The spider had passed its legacy to them, and they would not fail. The galaxy would one day speak of the forgotten planet, of the last spider who gave its life, and of the humans who walked into darkness and came back with light. The legend would spread, not of fear, but of hope, not of endings, but of beginnings. because even against the endless void, life could fight back. And sometimes, courage was faster than death, stronger than despair, and brighter than the stars themselves.